Hello everybody, it's Drinkwater200 here. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a user interface menu such as a pause menu, start the menu, etc. So let's begin. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a microchip, of course. And what you're going to need, these are the things you're going to need, guys. You're going to need a selector. Two AND gates, an OR gate, a sound for scrolling through the options, a counter, just one, a NOT gate, your design, this is my design, and your main text. And the keyframe for each text. Now, what you guys are going to want to do is, once you have all of that, once you have everything aligned, this is what it would look like. Once you have your alignment like this, we're going to make everything work. So to do that, I'm going to be explaining how everything works and what you have to do to make the options actually work. So let's see. We have our selector, we're going to get that and put output A into AND gate 1. Output B into AND gate 2. Okay? Now, you're going to leave the input B and input B on both of the AND gates without anything for now. Now, what you're going to do is, you're going to get the selector output A and you're going to get a keyframe. You're going to go in the keyframe and you're going to change the text of the color. So this is what's going to tell the color, okay, change to this color when I'm on top of this. So if you're on top of this option, it's going to turn into orange. Okay? So let's say I didn't want it to be orange for the second option. I wanted it to be a different color. So I'm just going to change it. Instead of orange, I'm going to change it to blue. Okay? So now what happens is, when I'm highlighting the option, you can see the color. Okay? Now, remember guys, you need to put that in the keyframe for each text. And the selector's output goes into the keyframe. So, output A is for option 1, output B is for option 2, and etc. Max options you could have is 10 options. Unless you do a second section of options, which is a different story. I could explain it. So basically you would just have to get another selector. You'd have to get an AND gate, not an OR gate. You would have to get another AND gate, and then you would have to tell it, if this is on and you select the next option, then this would turn on. But that's for a different tutorial, so we're gonna have to save that for a different tutorial. Anyways, once you have your options that highlight, we're gonna make them work. So in the OR gate, I forgot to say, you do need an OR gate. In the OR gate, you're going to put a sound, and that's the sound that's going to be for scrolling. Now in this OR gate, what you're going to do is, you're going to put the controller sensor, D-pad up and D-pad down. Also make sure the controller sensor is set to remote controllable. Make sure it's set to remote controllable, guys. Okay? Now what you're going to do is, you're going to have that set to remote controllable. You're also going to have a camera This camera is going to be set to hide imps. Alright. Now you're not going to see the imp. And you can still scroll. Okay. Now once you have that set to remote controllable and you have your D-pad up and down set to the sound, and you also have your D-pad up and down set to the selector, because you're going to scroll with D-pad up or down or analog, doesn't matter, whichever you guys are scrolling with. Now I tend to scroll with D-pad up or down because it's the most simple, or left or right if you're doing a cross-side menu. Now to select the option, what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to get output A, leave that as it is, and what you're going to do for the AND gates now is you're going to go into X in the remote controlled controller sensor, and you're going to place that on output B, and you're going to place that on output B for the second one too. So what this is telling it is, if option 1 is highlighted and I press X, that's going to activate my main option. If option 2 is highlighted and I press X, it's going to activate my option. Okay, so that's just for activating options, making everything work. Now, what you guys are going to want to do is you simply are just, you're going to basically do a plugin for whatever you want this thing to do. So I want this to go to another scene. Okay, I want this to go to another scene. So we're gonna get a door. Alright, doorway. Okay? And we're gonna set it to exit. And now, when we press play, it's gonna exit the level. See how it says you triggered a doorway? Yeah. It's gonna exit the level and it's gonna go onto your main game. Now, the same thing goes for option B. Okay? So, let's say music selector. I'm just gonna get a random song. Random song. I'm just gonna get a random song, okay? And then I'm just gonna have it for showcase purposes. I'm just gonna have it to just play by itself. It's just gonna stay on. It's just gonna play, all right? I'm just gonna have a counter to just turn on the music. And then it's going to play it. That's pretty damn loud, but you guys get the point. And then we have our doorway here, and that exits the game. Alright. Everything's good. Now, if you guys have a menu and it's in-game, if it's in the same scene, let's say you got a puppet and you have a start menu and it's in the same scene, you're gonna want this. You're gonna want this to turn off the menu forever. So I'm just gonna get a counter for when I press play. So instead of a doorway, since you're not going into a different game, you're gonna just set that to a counter. And this counter is gonna turn off the menu. Okay, so it's gonna get a UI and boop. There we go. And you're gonna set that keyframe to save changes, so it stays off forever. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into the puppet. Also make sure to turn off the puppet for now. You're gonna go into the puppet. You're gonna make sure you go to preview invisibility, make that visible, and turn it back on while you're in the keyframe. You're also gonna go into the puppet settings, and you're gonna turn on force possession. Okay. Also, make sure to turn this off to disconnect this from the depossess so that you can't get out the puppet. Alright, so there we go. The puppet's going to be invisible while the menu's open. Once you press play, it's going to close the menu and it's going to possess the puppet. Here we go. I'm going to press play. And there we go, guys. I hope this helps, and please request more tutorials in my comment section. I will provide. And I hope you have a good day, dreamers. Enjoy.